Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego is calling on America to go on a general strike and essentially shut it down if the president meddles in the 2026 midterm elections. Now, as I film this video, the midterm election is still months and months and months away toward the end of this year, but the drama around the midterm election is already heating up as they're calling on fighting fire with fire. Well, I also have this article right here, which I'm going to pop up on the screen in just a second so you can see and read for yourself exactly what they're talking about. But I want you to see this because we all knew this was coming. The drama around the midterm. Here we are only a couple months into the year so far, and the drama is heating up, and they're literally calling on America to go on strike. The chaos to spill into the streets, and basically everybody say, no, we're not doing this, and we all go on strike. What are we going to do? It's going to look a lot like 2020 when all of us were not really supposed to be doing anything, right? Well, that's essentially what they're calling on. Shut it down, lock it down. We don't do anything. We literally rebel and say, no, not happening. Anyway, let's pop this article up right here, right now. Feel free to read through the details on this. This is pretty interesting. I would imagine, considering we're early on in the year right now as I host this video, as we get closer and closer to the midterm election, which again is still many, many, many months away from right now as I make this video, but I would imagine the drama is just going to continue to heat up more and more and more as we get closer, and this is going to be very interesting. But anyway, Democratic Senator, again, Ruben Gallego calling on America to go on a general strike if the president meddles in the 2026 midterm election, as the president was recently out, not that long ago, just the other day, calling on lawmakers to nationalize voting, right? Well, as you can imagine, a lot of lawmakers are saying, what are you talking about here? No, you stay out of this. Now, by the way, you might be wondering, what do you mean by meddle, right? What that really means is interfere, okay? Just replace the word meddle with interfere. Come in, interfere, disrupt, something like this along the lines that would ultimately disrupt the results of the midterm elections, right? Now, here's the deal. We have no idea what's going to happen at this point, right? It is still so far away at this point. We can maybe make some imaginations. We can maybe use some speculations, whatever it happens to be. But it's still too far away at this point to really get an accurate depiction of what may be happening with the midterm election. I can tell you this much. It's going to be chaotic. We know that much for sure, right? I think we can all reassure ourselves there's going to be a lot of drama. There's going to be a lot of chaos between now and then. And around that time, no matter what happens, it's certainly going to be very chaotic, right? I think we are pretty much guaranteed that. We know that much for sure. But this is an interesting take on this because, well, depends on who you ask, right? In fact, I'll tell you this much. Just the other day, in fact, I don't know, a few days ago, the president was out in an interview. It was a 50-minute interview. I listened to the whole thing. There were actually some interesting clips out of that interview, which I was going to bring you here in the videos, but I didn't do it because, well, sometimes when I take certain clips out of different videos, I get in trouble with YouTube, and they're like, hey, you can't take that clip. So anyway, long story short, I was going to bring you some of the clips, but I decided not to because I didn't want to get in trouble by taking the clips. But my point being is that the president was out in that interview, and he basically indicated very loud and clear in that interview. By the way, it was with Tom Llamas. I think I'll pronounce his last name correctly. He's like one of the nightly news guys. Kind of like him. He's one of those anchors, right? Anyway, it was a 50-minute interview with him. But long story short, as the president indicated in that interview pretty loud and clear, the president will accept the results of the midterm election, as he said, provided it is fair. Provided it's fair. Well, whose opinion is it going to be and whose assessment is it going to be to determine if it's fair or not, right? Again, I'm not making a political video here. That's not the point of this. I'm not here to take sides politically. I'm just saying, though, if it doesn't go in the favor of the president, again, I'm not here to say anything bad about him or anything good. I'm just saying, just a fact. If it does not go in his direction, is he going to say it was unfair and it was rigged and it was cheated and whatever else? And if it goes in his direction, he might say, well, yes, this was a very fair election, right? Again, I'm just saying, just making a point here. Is that how this is going to be, right? I don't know. I'm just making some points here, some different things to think about. Well, according to this Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego as well, same thing goes with him and other Democrats across the board. And again, I'm just kind of leveling the playing field here, which is this. If it goes against them, are they going to come in and say, look, the president meddled in the election, he interfered, they came in and they did some shady practices, whatever, and it was an unfair election. Therefore, whatever it happens to be. So my point being is that who is really going to be the one to determine if the election is actually fair and if there really was meddling or interference within the election that they're indicating? Does that kind of make sense, right? So it really depends. It depends on which way that the election goes, which side that it leans toward. Well, whoever wins, right? Again, whatever it happens to be. And again, it's not the presidency. I want to make that very clear. This is not a presidential election, but rather this will determine the fate of the House of Representatives and the Senate for the next couple years here. At least the next couple years of the current president's term, right? Remember, as of right now, Republicans still have full control of everything. They're losing a lot of seats in the House. I'm going to say that much. A lot of people are retiring, resigning, literally just stepping away, things like that. So they've lost a lot of seats, the Republicans, but they still do have full control of the Senate, of the House, and of the presidency. And the presidency obviously will remain for now. We don't know what's going to happen, but the presidential election obviously just happened, a year and a half ago or whatever. But my point being is that this next one, the midterm election, could completely disrupt control for Republicans. And again, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just simply saying a bunch of different things to talk about and think about, which is if they lose control of the House or the Senate, well, now we've got a major situation on our hands simply because this does no longer allow Republicans to use reconciliation, right? We've talked about this a number of times, which is they used reconciliation last summer to pass the big tax cut bill, which a lot of people are, feeling the effects of that now as they're filing their tax returns, they're getting their tax refunds, and they're getting thousands and thousands of dollars, on average over $4,000 that is going back to the bank accounts of people when they're filing their tax returns, right? So they're seeing the effects of that. Now, lawmakers are also currently working on stimulus bill, whatever you want to call it, tax cut bill, affordability bill, 2.0 right now, and I just had a video about this the other day as well, which is they need to have meaningful progress on this bill by the end of the month, and they're looking at a passage of that sometime between late spring and early summer that they want to bring that. That's going to be another reconciliation bill, but if they lose control of the House or the Senate, they no longer have that ability to use the reconciliation process and get legislation through the chambers and to the president's desk with just a simple majority vote like they do right now with full control, right? The same goes with Democrats. They have the same ability when they have full control of the presidency, the House, and the Senate, which they did just a couple years ago. They had full control as well. When they did, they also passed reconciliation bills. Fill in the blanks of the American Rescue Plan, the $1.9 trillion stimulus package that we saw in early 2021, as well as the Inflation Reduction Act. Both of those were done through reconciliation as well. Okay, so it can be done. And again, both parties have that ability when they have full control. Either way, midterm election, still many months out from right now as I film this video, but the drama is already starting. The chaos is getting ready. And apparently we're supposed to fill the streets with chaos, according to what they're saying here, and a general strike across America. I don't know. Get ready. It's going to be an interesting one. I'll be here for you right by your side every single day. Anyway, if you have not done so, please consider subscribing. Big subscribe button down below. And if you happen to be one of the nearly 70 million people on Medicare, make sure to write that phone number down there. Again, about 10,000 of you in the last year have called Chapter with that phone number right there to get free help with your Medicare, to find the right Medicare plan and coverages for you and your personal needs, to save collectively over $2 million for those of you in this community. The average person is saving over $1,000. Again, I have stacks and stacks of comments here, page after page after page. But by the way, call them right there, Chapter. Again, Monday through Friday during regular business hours. Call them then. You'll connect with a trusted advisor, and they'll help you find all of the best plans and Medicare coverages for you and your personal needs. And again, after you talk to them, drop a comment down below. Use the word chapter within your comment. I'll grab your comment and I'll add it to my stack here. I have about a dozen pages here of just the comments I've pulled out just in the last, call it 2 months or so, give or take a little bit. I'll add your comment to that and I'll feature it in upcoming videos. Hope this helps you out. Again, please subscribe, share the video, big share button down below, subscribe button down below. Until next time, enjoy, stay tuned, and I'll keep you posted.